ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. And for you new people, subscribe. It's free, and we appreciate it. We really do. Today we're going to work on a little Honda. We picked up a Honda push mower, not even a self-propelled. But we've overpaid for it just a little bit, but it's a good-looking mower. At least it is under the dirt. And it's got just a really weird behavior. When you run it, it starts, but it'll only run. You can tell the choke is fluttering. If you open the choke, it won't run at all. It just dies off. So I have a feeling the carburetor is clogged. But it could also be a fuel problem where there's just no gas in the tank or there's not enough for it to run. So let's take a look. Okay, you're going to want to hear this thing run. It's really weird. Let's take the air cleaner off real quick. Get that out of the way. So you see, she tried to start. So it's got something going on. And with the choke open, it won't run at all. And for a minute there, I had it fluttering up and down. But the first thing I'm going to do is try to put some gas in it and see what happens. Now, it could be the gas is just really old on this guy. It is really, really low. Okay, I got the door open and everything now. Let's give her a run with fresh gas. Okay, that didn't have any change on her behavior. Even though we just filled it up, it should have happened pretty quick. So we've got two things that may be going on here. It could be that the fuel is flowing very slowly into the carburetor and it didn't have enough time to fill up the bowl. Or it could just be a clogged jet. It could be anything. So let's open her up and see what we've got. When you're working on one of these little Hondas, if you've got a 10mm, you've pretty much got all the tools you need. Sounds like our drill's getting a little bit light on battery here. Now, most people will replace these with studs, and we might do that before we're done. And this is why. You got umpteen gaskets behind it that are nothing but a pain in the neck when you're putting it back together. Okay, now we've got our carburetor loose. So let's turn our fuel off. We're going to take our carburetor off and see if that makes any difference at all. And you want to take your fuel line off first and then ease your springs off. But remember to take a picture of this before you do. It may not look complicated now, but when you're putting that back together and put these in the wrong holes, then it'll run funny. It might run, but it won't run right. Okay, buddy. Let me get in here. Get this little cheapo wire clamp off. Lots of people love these little Hondas. I think they're okay. A little overcomplicated for the job, if you ask me. But when it's time to sell them, I know it won't last long. Even this, it's not even a self-propelled. It's hard to give away a non-self-propelled motor in Texas. But somebody will buy this one just because it says Honda on the cover. Now, that's kind of interesting. Note that not a drip came out of this. Since I'm pretty sure we got a fuel problem, we're going to drain a little bit of this into a container and make sure that the fuel's actually flowing decently. Because it could be nothing more than a clog right here. Since we got the carb off, we're going to go ahead and clean her up and clean the jets. But that could be the problem right there. So let's put our little container here. Nope, fuel's flowing okay. Just those little drips tell me that's more than enough to get her down to the, get enough into the bowl. So let's take this over to the bench and clean her up real quick. Let's pull this apart. So if you wonder what size this bolt is, I promise it's a Honda, it's a 10 millimeter. Arg. There we go. Now on the Honda carb, the jets are actually inside here. Sometimes they're a real pain in the neck to take apart. It's way down inside here, so let's take our little screwdriver and see if we can't get them out. This one's being very, very cooperative. And we need that. It's Sunday morning. It's the first day after the time change. I know a lot of people don't like the time change, but I do. And there we have it. Jets. Remember? That this end first, going in. Let's take a look at this guy. I can't see through it, so that's probably our problem. We're going to take a piece of floral wire. Floral wire you can get at any dollar store, and it's just the best at this. And all we're doing is running through it. As you can see, we're running through it, spin it around, and clearing out the little hole. Some people drill them out, but when they drill them out, they're not trying to so much make the hole larger as they are clean it off really good. And that takes a touch. I would not recommend doing it that way for the average person, but the guys that do it all the time. So now you can see we're running our wire down the center here. We're doing the same thing. We're making sure she's all cleared out. So now we're going to go ahead and take the float off. And just to make sure she's clean, we're going to take the float off, pull the pin out, and put her in the bath. And we're going to wash the body and clean it up. And we'll throw the jets in while we're at it. Looks good. There's nothing interesting or unusual here. It all looks pretty ordinary. So I'm sure this is going to clean up really nicely. So I'm going to run it through the ultrasonic, and we'll see you shortly. Everything's been through the ultrasonic, and I took a quick look to make sure she's clean inside. And let's get her all back together and see what we got. So the first thing we'll do is put the jet in, then we'll put the bowl on, then we'll do the needle and float. There you go, nice and snug. And with what we've done, after putting this through the ultrasonic, we should have covered just about everything. This bad boy should be good to go. Whoops. Guess I'm not quite as coordinated as normal on Sunday morning. But I knew I was having a time change, so I got to bed pretty early last night. Oh. Okay, strike two. Let's try this one more time from the top. She's hanging straight down. And she's in the hole. Very, very nice. And there are some of these floats that you can actually put on upside down, but this isn't one of them. This goes one way, and this bowl doesn't really care what direction it is. Oh, it's going to be a good day. We're going to crank this up, and it's going to start the first pull. No, it's probably going to start the second pull. Probably take one pull to get fuel flow. And that's it. We've got a ready-to-go carburetor. Let's head back over to the mower and put her back on. Now we get to do the uncoordinated part. So if you took pictures on the way in, then you'd remember the little hole has the spring, and the larger hole has the throttle linkage. And you want to make sure you get that right. If you cross those, it's not going to work right. Okay, now I'm prepping up. I'm putting our gasket on the bolts. Makes it a little bit easier. A little uncoordinated putting it on, but what are you going to do? It can't be pretty all the time now, can it? You know, since our base gasket's holding still, this looks like this one's going to go together easier than most Hondas do. Sometimes when you do these, they'll just wear you out. Okay, we've got that bolt started. Let's get this bolt started and then hit them with the gun. And there we go. Let's put some gas into her and see if she starts. I'll back you up a little bit here. Pick you up a little bit. I'm going to lift you up some. Because it's currently, let's see, what is it? 8:30 in the morning, 8:32, which is 7:32 before the time change. And she sounds pretty good. The only thing we did was cleaned up the jets and made sure the float was good. We cleaned up the carburetor real quick, and she's a happy camper. Let's put the old air filter back on. Do we like it? Yeah, it looks pretty good. Stuff our air cleaner back on. And that's that. The only thing she needs is a bath, and she's ready for sale. Now that's the way you expect them to start when they've got an auto choke system. It took it a second for the motor to settle in, mostly because it didn't have any gas in it at all. So on that very first pull, it was creating just enough vacuum to get enough gas in to get it started. And the choke plate being closed helps that. If you have a mower that you get into it this spring and it just doesn't want to start, 90% of the time that'll take care of it. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.